Ireland is under occupation. This time we're not occupied by an evil empire or another country. Ireland's been taken over by the Vulture funds. There's been a huge debate in the news this week as Permanent TSB, a bank that is 70% state-owned and was bailed out to the tune of billions by us the taxpayer, has decided to hand over between 17 and 20,000 mortgages to the Vulture funds. So that's 17 to 20,000 struggling families whose homes will be regarded as assets to be rolled over by a Vulture fund. See, Vulture funds don't care about homelessness or evictions, all they care about is profit. Paschal Donoghue has already admitted in the Dáil that the deals between mortgage owners in distress and the bank will not be honoured by the new buyer. Permanent TSB claimed in a press release that these mortgages belonged to families who hadn't engaged with the bank. But then when they were asked what percentage of families had fallen behind on their mortgages or not engaged with the bank, and they said they couldn't possibly tell, and then echoed Paschal Donoghue by admitting that the purchasers won't be bound by any government regulation. This sell-off of property is not exceptional. NAM has sold 7 billion of Irish properties to the Vulture Fund Cerberus. In total, the Vulture Funds got their hands on over 200 billion worth of assets in this country. A Vulture Fund, Iris Ria, is now Ireland's biggest landlord and makes millions every year out of overinflated rents. They own 2,500 flats in Dublin alone and plan to build housing estates outside the M50. They also pay next to no tax, using loopholes like the old Section 1110 loophole. 15 Vulture funds working in Ireland, with a value of 10 billion between them, paid €250 tax each. That's €250. Most PAYE workers would pay more in a month. They estimate that we lose about 500 million in tax every year to the Vulture funds because the Irish government allows them loopholes that lets them funnel their tax back to their corporate HQ without having to fund houses for the homeless or the Irish Health Service. The result of building an economy, effectively a tax haven where the vultures hold sway: 9,000 people homeless, 3,000 of them children, 70,000 people in mortgage distress and 100,000 people on waiting lists for social housing. Both Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil are responsible for creating the environment in which the Vulture funds thrive. All the establishment parties have run down public housing, which has inflated the price of housing and the cost of rent, creating a homelessness crisis and filling the pockets of Vulture funds like Iris Ria. And the Vulture funds make sure that policy is compliant to their needs. They had 65 meetings with government officials, including lunches with Michael Noonan. So we're back to the days of faceless landlords who suck profits from immiserating the lives of the Irish people, and all done with the help of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Anglo-Irish Bank offered a discount of 58% on 1,700 mortgages. Now, why couldn't they offer the families a 58% discount on the mortgages? Surely that would help with the mortgage distress if mortgage repayments were lowered by 58%. But this government would never step in and make sure the families were offered such a discount. They would never take the steps necessary to take on the vultures and improve the lives of the people. These steps would include banning of shadow banking, closing the corporate tax loopholes, heavy taxation on the Vulture funds, and finally a mass social housing build. But demanding those things comes up against the logic of Irish capitalism. To challenge the Vulture funds and win dignity for the people of Ireland, we're going to have to take on the establishment parties, and that'll mean thousands of feet on the street.